Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. If you haven't checked out my last video, please check it out on YouTube. It's entitled I'm Back, and I'm in a new space, in a new chapter in my life right now where it's called Choosing Me, where I finally broke the pattern that I found myself in when it comes to relationships and choosing other people before myself. So that's the type of person that I've always been, but now, like I said, this is this new chapter that I'm now in, and I really love it. It's freeing, it's satisfying, and I'm getting to know me all over again, you know? But this is a story time that I want to share with you guys about part of my journey and how a certain pattern developed when it comes to a cycle, right? So when I was younger, I grew up in a family where I witnessed, a lot of infidelity. So, and I always said that I will never go through that. That will never be me, but we all know when it comes to life, you never know how life is going to happen, and you never know the situations that you're going to have to encounter. So you have to be careful with the things that you say. So yes, I found myself dealing with a lot of infidelity in my first relationship, which resulted in marriage, which ended in divorce, basically. And also, when I was younger, I've always told myself that I will never, I would basically marry the person whom I had kids with, and that's what ended up happening. I think that's a vow that I made to myself that I kept. And boy, oh boy, did it kick my butt? It did. But, even though there was a lot of bad in it, it was still good. So let me get back. So in that relationship, I dealt with a lot of infidelity, and 2 children were birthed from outside parties with that relationship. So I was a forgiving person, but at the same time, when the offense would happen, I would get upset. I would call myself moving on with my life. And once I did that, I allowed this person to apologize his way back in, which I forgave and accepted, right? So that became a pattern. And I think for me, it seemed as though the more that was done, the more it was happening, And once I had kids, it's like the kids took my attention from that, and I focused everything on them, and I became like, I tried to be a positive parent to them, and I never dogged their dad out to them, because I'm like, well, they're going to see it when they get older anyway. So I don't have to dog them, because they're going to witness it for themselves. So anyway, the pattern happened of the offense happening. I would get upset. They would apologize, and I would forgive. So that pattern happened throughout that whole entire relationship. And even though there were times that I did confront the situation, the type of person that he was, he would get really, really loud and belligerent, and it would cause the atmosphere to be like not really peaceful. It'll be like loud and crazy, and like just crazy. So in order for that to not happen, and in order for my children to not have to deal with that type of what do I want to call it? That type of trauma, to where it didn't affect them, I decided to not even really, speak about it. But I was able to express myself once the tension, you know, kind of went low. I was able to express myself, but I had to do it in a way that I'm talking to you right now. Like, I couldn't fight fire with fire. I had to be calm. I had to use a soft tone to where it wouldn't set him off, you know? And that's basically how that pattern developed. And two, with that, he wasn't a big communicator. So I found myself, when communicating with him about how I was feeling, I would ask at the end if there's anything that you would like to say. He would be like, no. I'm like, okay, well, is there anything that I said that you want to respond to? And he would be like, no, you're right, you're right. And I think it was just a quick response for him to just be done with it and not want to talk about it. But like I said, when he saw how I was, I think it caused him to keep repeating the same offense. And for me, I kept accepting it because of my children, you know, and I didn't want it to be a toxic environment. So I dealt with it, you know. So that ended up resulting in in divorce, like I mentioned before. And I'm not going to say, even though all that happened, you know, there were things that I did learn from that relationship, but that'll be another video. So when the divorce happened, I thought that I was on the path of healing, and I wasn't with anybody for like 3 years, because even though I was healed from being able to forgive him totally, I still didn't break that cycle that I developed. And that carried on into my next relationship, which is going to be part 2. But, you know, unfortunately, it took me almost 45 years of failed marriage and a failed relationship to realize that the pattern that I had developed long ago, I'm able to finally break it now. It might be weird, but you know, it is what it is. And I'm happy that I handled things the way that I did handle them, because it taught me how to deal with things gracefully. Even though this particular person, you know, tried to dog me out on the internet and to family and friends or whatever lies he chose to spread about me, I don't know. But that didn't become my focus. And I'm like, okay, God, it's me and you and my children. So that's what it is. And so, anyway, that's how that process developed, that cycle developed. So that's my story time. And I'll talk about my next relationship in the next video. So until then, you guys stay blessed. Follow me. All my social media information will be down below. And if you have any questions, or if you want to talk about any specific topic, or if you want me to discuss whatever you may have, if I think it's appropriate, then we'll talk about it. But if I can help somebody in their journey and help them to dissect where things started for them, so that they can get on the road to recovery and the road to choosing themselves and loving themselves and putting themselves first, then I know that I'm doing everything that God has called and created me to do. So until then, I love you guys. Stay blessed and stay tuned for the next video.